We're finally here. The end of 2023. Not just any regular 2023, Nintendo's 2023. And what that means, yet another year for Nintendo is on the horizon. One thing I love to do, if you couldn't tell by now, is speculate. The idea of what could come next and trying to predict Nintendo, it's like trying to predict the impossible. But it's just so much fun. So, I've created my predictions for Nintendo's 2024 month by month, detailing every major event that I believe will happen. Obviously, it's going to be biased. Obviously, it's going to be ridiculous at times. And obviously, this is all in pure fun. Don't take it too seriously, but I will say I was correct if anything does end up true from this. Without further ado, let's get into January of 2024. January will kick off pretty quietly. We'll get a demo and a lot more trailers for another Code Recollection, as Nintendo's really going to try and get people to buy this remake. Another Code will release and it'll sell decently well, nothing too crazy, but not a failure either. Players old and new will enjoy the remake for its greatly enhanced visuals and quality of life features. The rest of January will be pretty quiet, but we'll get another trailer for Mario vs. DK. Not much here. February. In February, we'll see the launch of the Mario vs. DK remake. But before that, we'll get an early February Nintendo Direct. This will be the last Switch-focused Direct ever. It'll be a final blowout for a lot of games that have been announced and are releasing this year. We'll finally open with our first real look at Metroid Prime 4, and it'll look gorgeous. And as a bonus surprise, we'll get simple upscales of Prime 2 and 3 on the eShop the day of the Direct, with also new controls and quality of life features. Retro has been working on it with the assisting studio that worked on the Metroid Prime remake, and it's clear that it's going to be the biggest Metroid game ever. It'll have a larger emphasis on story without losing the general flow of gameplay. Everyone will finally be at peace, and it'll be scheduled to release in fall 2024. We'll get the release date for the Splatoon 3 DLC, and it'll look really interesting. The general plot will follow Pearl contacting Agent 8 after being concerned by Marina's sudden disappearance. Agent 8 will find where Marina was last seen and then be sucked into a digital replication of Ingopolis Square somehow, and Pearl, using a drone, will follow. They'll meet Oct and have to traverse the Spiral of Order in order to find Marina. Splatoon 3's Side Order will be released in May. We'll get another trailer for Princess Peach Showtime, and it'll be clear that Nintendo's pushing this game to succeed, and we'll see a demo available after the Direct. We'll get the announcement that Luigi's Mansion 2 will be released in July, and the Thousand Year Door remake in June. The Direct will end with Koizumi and Miyamoto talking about the new expansion to Super Nintendo World, the Donkey Kong Land. To coincide with this, they'll announce a brand new 3D DK game. The game will have playable DK, Diddy, Dixie, and Cranky. You'll traverse across multiple smaller islands instead of just one big open world game, almost similar to Pokemon Legends Arceus or Sonic Frontiers. The Kremblings will return, and they'll be trying to industrialize the Jungle Islands, so it's up to DK and the gang to stop King K. Rool and his crew before the islands become full-on factories. It'll be scheduled for September, look almost finished, and be titled Donkey Kong Country: The Wilds. The Direct will be a sign that, yeah, things are noticeably slowing down for the Switch, with only the announcement of the new DK game, and less major third-party games announced. We'll also see a Pokemon Presents, giving us updates on all of the mobile games, but we'll also get the announcement of a completely new Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. It'll be in the same art style of the remake from 2020. I don't really know much about the series, so I can't say what it'll be about, but it'll look as great as Explorers of the Sky and be released in August. It'll be called, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Echoes of Destiny. Later in the month, we'll see the Mario vs. DK remake release, and it'll be a remake of Mario vs. DK. Unfortunately, there won't be any new content, as it's just a simple remake. March. In March, we'll see a huge blowout for Princess Peach Showtime, as again, Nintendo's really pushing this game to do well. Peach Showtime will be developed by Goodfeel with support from 1UP Studio and EPD. It'll be pretty fun, but a shorter experience. At the end of the month, we'll get back Nintendo's financial results for the past few months after the holiday blowout. Previously, it sold 132 million units at the end of September, but right about now it'll be at 139 million units, still slowly inching to surpass the PS2, but at this point it looks like it'll just be a few million away like with the DS family. April, there won't be much, just a few Nintendo Switch Online drops, which there will be every month, but I'm not taking the time to find obscure SNES game number 412 that they'll announce. But then out of complete nowhere, Nintendo will casually announce their next console in a press meeting. They'll only give us the vague codename of NG and a release date sometime this year. The internet will literally explode. In this statement, Nintendo will also clarify they will announce more information in June. May. In May, we'll see the release of the Splatoon 3 Side Order DLC. It will be incredibly wacky and innovative, but in a good way. It'll set up the series for the future of the storyline post Splatoon 3. Meanwhile, the internet will still be on fire after the announcement of Nintendo's next system, and YouTubers, myself included, will enjoy making speculation videos relentlessly for this month. June is the big month, and Nintendo announces a special event exclusively for unveiling and revealing big things about the next system. The event will be very similar to the Nintendo Switch presentation back in January of 2017. Nintendo will unveil the system, in which it'll be a successor of sorts to the regular Switch. The system will be called the Super Nintendo Switch. It'll visually look similar with a few revamped features, primarily the Joy-Cons. They'll receive a massive overhaul in design. Firstly, we'll see a scroll wheel, where it'll act like a regular shoulder button, but you can also scroll it, kinda like a scroll wheel on a regular computer mouse. The joysticks will also be getting an upgrade, with the Hall Effect technology, which will permanently get rid of drift. The Super Switch itself will have new AR tech and will be showcased in a variety of new games, alongside new graphics that will be comparable to the PS4 and Xbox One, both handheld and docked. Now into the games showcase, and we'll get a better look at Donkey Kong Country: The Wilds. It'll utilize the scroll wheel tech for the camera and augmented reality for gameplay. For the regular Switch, it won't support these features. It'll also look a lot better on the Super Switch. We'll be shown a sizzle reel of a ton of first-party Nintendo games with these graphical enhancements. These will include Tears of the Kingdom, Mario Odyssey, Scarlet and Violet, and much more. There will be the announcement of a brand new Monkey Ball game, specifically developed for the Super Switch, releasing in September, which will use the AR tech as a gimmick. We'll get the announcement of Super Mario Warriors, a warrior-style game, but for Mario. Each character will be able to switch between different power-ups to defeat hordes of foes and reclaim the entire Mushroom Kingdom, which has been transformed into an amusement park by Bowser. The playable characters will include Mario, Luigi, Toad, Peach, Daisy, and Rosalina, and much more as we progress. Super Mario Warriors will launch as a Super Switch exclusive in December. Nintendo will drop the announcement of a brand new Star Fox game, developed by Platinum Games and Nintendo, and it'll look visually stunning. Titled Star Fox Infinity, it'll release in November as a Super Switch exclusive. We'll also get the announcement of Mario Party Festival, and it'll have the gimmick of up to 8 players in a separate type of game mode, with the adjusted boards to make the rounds faster even with the doubled player count, but still contain a traditional Mario Party mode. We'll get a November release date exclusive to the Super Switch. We'll also be shown teasers for a new Yoshi and a new 2D Kirby game, but told to wait till later in the year for updates on them. We'll then be shown a much more in-depth look at Metroid Prime 4, and it'll be a cross-gen title with the Super Switch with much better visuals on it, and it'll release in September. The presentation will end with a huge trailer for the next 3D Mario, Super Mario Beyond, and it will be a fully open-world Mario game, which will have fans very hesitant at first, but look stunning and be a full expansion of Sandbox Mario. It will be scheduled to release in October and fully utilize all of the Super Switch's gimmicks. In conclusion, the Super Switch will release in September 2023, having a price tag of $400, with the new Monkey Ball and DK games as launch titles, followed by Mario Beyond in October, Mario Party Festival and Star Fox Infinity in November, and finally Mario Warriors in December. There will obviously be a lot of other third-party games, like the Final Fantasy VII Remake, Monster Hunter's Wilds, and much more games that couldn't make it to the Switch because of the hardware limitations. And obviously, if it isn't obvious, it will be backwards compatible. Just a side note, you may be thinking, hey, isn't this like an insane amount of games to announce? And to that, I respond with A, most if not all of these games mentioned would usually have a new game at this point or are being heavily rumored to have one soon. And B, this is literally what happened with the Nintendo Switch presentation. It was a massive blowout with a ton of game announcements. Especially with the Super Switch, where they'll need a lot of bangers to convince people to buy the system, they'll be pushing out games. For the rest of June, we'll see the Paper Mario Thousand Year Door remake, which will just be amazing. No new content, but we'll get a near perfect remake, and in an interview, we'll get more hope for the future of the series. July will be practically quiet, but we'll see the HD version of Luigi's Mansion 2, which will be fun. August. There's literally nothing in August except major hype for the Super Switch and people struggling to pre-order it, because I hate August! But in reality, there will be a Pokemon Presents with mainly just updates on mobile stuff, but updates on Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Echoes of Destiny, and the announcement of a brand new Legends game. It'll look a lot better than Arceus, and not just primarily made by Game Freak, but it's also co-developed by Monolith. It'll be called Pokemon Legends Celebi, and scheduled for February, exclusively launching on the Super Switch. Echoes of Destiny will also get its final trailer as it will only release a few days after the presentation. Then later in the month, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Echoes of Destiny will release, and it'll be a pretty solid Mystery Dungeon game. September. This will be a big month, with the launch of the Super Switch, Metroid Prime 4, Donkey Kong Country The Wilds, and the brand new Monkey Ball game I keep mentioning because I love Monkey Ball. Donkey Kong Wilds and Metroid Prime 4 will be critically acclaimed for their stunning visuals and fun gameplay. Metroid Prime 4 will be everything Metroid fans have been waiting for, and so much more. DK fans will just be happy to see the Kremlings again. Also, there will be a big supply shortage of the Super Switch, and people will struggle to get it, even with a high supply at first to try and prepare for it, so have fun with that. There will be issues with the system at launch, but not as bad as the regular Switch launch. Overall, the launch will be a big success, although people will be wondering why there's no Direct this month, when there's usually one in September. October. October will finally get the Direct people were starving for, even though we just got the launch of a new system. It'll mainly give us updates on titles like Mario Beyond, Mario Warriors, Mario Party Festivals, dang, that's a lot of Marios, Star Fox Infinity, other third-party titles, but then a better look at the Yoshi and Kirby games. The Yoshi game will be another 2D Yoshi game, but it'll actually be a sequel to the Yoshi's Island series. It'll have Yoshi taking around baby Mario, this time taking a bit after the events of New Island, where Mario's a bit older but still a baby. The game will be scheduled to release this spring, titled Yoshi's Island 2, despite technically being the third game. The 2D Kirby game will seem like another regular 2D Kirby game, similar to Triple Deluxe or Robobot, utilizing the scroll wheel to flip the stage in different angles. It'll also have up to 4 players, similar to Return to Dreamland. The game will be called Kirby Spinned, and released in spring as well. The final announcement of the Direct will be a full-on remake of Ocarina of Time, with great graphics, and it'll release in January. Not too much to it, but it'll break the internet easily. Later in the month, we'll get the release of Mario Beyond, and it'll just be 10 out of 10s across the board. Obviously, people will be hesitant about an open world Mario game, and there will be topics like not every series needs to become an open world game, but due to the sheer amount of time Nintendo's given the Mario team to work on this game, it'll be great. November. This month we'll see the release of Star Fox Infinity, which will actually be pretty solid outside of a few issues with the controls and a lack of story, but it'll be fun. And then we'll see the release of Mario Party Festival, which will also be pretty good, but will be lacking in the amount of boards, just like with Mario Party Superstars, but overall still 8 out of 10s across the board. Also, we'll get Nintendo's next sales reports, and the regular Switch will have reached 141 million units, but it'll obviously still be in production for a while, and the Super Switch will have surpassed over 13 million units within the first 4 months, which is mind-boggling. December. It's finally December and we have made it to the end of the year. Nintendo will end with the release of Super Mario Warriors, and the game will sell great for a spin-off, and it'll be a really fun and innovative Warriors game. Oh yeah, there will also be the Game Awards, and we won't get much besides third-party exclusive announcements and a new trailer for the Ocarina of Time remake. And that is everything I got for my somewhat questionable and wild Nintendo 2024 predictions. There are some things I'm pretty confident in, like a fall 2024 release date for the Super Switch, revamped Joy-Cons, new Mario and DK games, but there's also a lot I am not confident in. Trying to come up with a gimmick for Nintendo's next console is hard. AR and the scroll wheel is the best I can think of when still trying to make it more powerful and a hybrid console, at least in my brain. If you have ideas for what the gimmick could be without abandoning the hybrid nature of the Switch, please do comment. I'm genuinely curious of what people think it could be. Also, I am not confident in these names at all. Mario Beyond is the best thing I can think of for an open world Mario game. Same with Donkey Kong Country The Wilds. I love speculation and predictions and all stuff like that. So let me know what your predictions for Nintendo's 2024 are. I'll see you all next time. That's another one done. Hey man, I noticed you didn't come to get dinner. Is everything okay? Yeah, I just got some advice from someone and it's really helping keeping me occupied so I can constantly get updated on everything Nintendo related. It's increasing my productivity, it's amazing. That sounds concerning. Why do you need all these tabs up? Why the hell is a Nintendo of America sub count there? Look man, you never know what could happen. This guy gave me incredible advice. If I could just consistently look at every single Nintendo related piece of media, I'll never miss any news and I can make videos so much easier. Yeah, that's not healthy, dude. I know you're a Nintendoan, but if you keep this up, that's just another level of dedication. That's just insane. And is that really a bad thing? Look, man, just get out of my room. You're just being straight up rude. Alright, man, I'll leave your food at the door.